Jacob had always been a night owl, which made his graveyard shift at McDonald's seem like a perfect fit. He didn't mind the quiet hours, and the steady hum of the fryers was almost soothing. But lately the atmosphere had shifted. Whispers among the staff spoke of strange occurrences, flickering lights, weird sounds, and the occasional cold draft with no source. It was a Tuesday night, unusually dead, even for 2 a.m. Jacob was alone in the back, prepping the morning's breakfast items when he heard the front door chime. He glanced at the security monitor and saw a figure inside the entrance. It was a tall and gaunt man wearing a long dark coat and an old-fashioned hat. The man stood perfectly still, facing away from the counter, staring at the menu board. Jacob hesitated, but then moved to the counter, his footsteps echoing in the empty restaurant. "Can I help you?" he called out. The man didn't respond. Jacob tried again, louder this time. The figure slowly turned to face him. His eyes were unnaturally wide and empty, as if he were staring through Jacob rather than at him. An uneasy chill ran down Jacob's spine. "Sir, are you okay?" The man finally spoke, his voice a raspy whisper. "I'm just waiting." "For what?" Jacob asked, but the man didn't answer. He turned back to the menu board, motionless once more. Unnerved, Jacob returned to his work, keeping one eye on the monitor. The man stood there for another 15 minutes before walking out without a word. Jacob breathed a sigh of relief, but the encounter left him on edge. The next night it happened again. The same man, the same eerie behavior. This time he stayed longer, his silent presence filling Jacob with a growing dread. When the man finally left, Jacob found himself trembling. He decided to mention it to his manager, Lisa, the next day. Lisa frowned. "You're not the first one to see him. We've had reports from the night shift staff for weeks now. But when we check the security footage, there's nothing there." Jacob felt a cold knot of fear in his stomach. "You're saying he's a ghost?" Lisa shrugged. "I don't know what he is. Just keep an eye out and don't engage with him." The following night, Jacob was more anxious than ever. Midnight came and went without incident, and he began to hope that maybe the man wouldn't show. But at 2:13 a.m., the door chimed, and Jacob's heart sank. The man was back, standing in his usual spot, staring at the menu board. This time, Jacob noticed something different. The restaurant felt colder and the lights dimmer. The man's presence seemed to suck the warmth and light from the room. Jacob tried to ignore him, focusing on his tasks, but the sensation of being watched was overwhelming. At 3 a.m., the man finally moved. Instead of leaving, he walked towards the counter, his footsteps making no sound. Jacob's breath caught in his throat as the man leaned in close, his hollow eyes locking onto Jacob's. "Do you know why I'm here?" the man whispered, his breath icy. Jacob shook his head, unable to speak. "I'm waiting for you, Jacob." Jacob stumbled back, heart pounding. "How do you know my name?" The man's lips curled into a chilling smile. "Because you're next." Suddenly, the lights flickered violently, plunging the restaurant into darkness. Jacob's scream echoed in the void, and the man was gone when the lights came back on. Jacob couldn't shake the terror. The next day, unable to face another night, he quit his job. But the fear followed him. He started seeing the man in his dreams, always standing, watching, and waiting. One evening, Jacob received a call from Lisa. She sounded frantic. "Jacob, you have to come back. There's something we need to show you." Reluctantly, Jacob agreed. He returned to the McDonald's late at night. Lisa led him to the back room, where the security footage played on a loop. It showed Jacob interacting with the man, but when the man turned to face the camera, his features were blurred, almost pixelated. "We tried enhancing the footage," Lisa said, "but it's like he's not there." Just then, the front door chimed. Jacob and Lisa froze, exchanging fearful glances. They turned to the monitor and saw the man standing in his usual spot, staring at the menu board. "He's here," Jacob whispered. This time the man didn't wait. He walked straight to the back, his steps silent yet deliberate. Jacob and Lisa backed away as the man approached, his presence filling the room with an unbearable cold. The man stopped inches from Jacob, his eyes burning with an unnatural light. "You can't run from me, Jacob." Suddenly the lights flickered and the room plunged into darkness again. Jacob felt an icy hand grip his arm, pulling him into the void. He screamed, thrashing against the cold, but the darkness swallowed him whole. When the lights came back, Jacob was gone. Lisa stood alone, trembling, staring at the spot where Jacob had been. The man was gone too, leaving only an eerie silence behind. Jacob's disappearance made the news, but no one could explain what had happened. Lisa quit her job, unable to bear the memories. However, McDonald's continued to operate, and the night shift always needed new employees. Some claimed to have seen him standing by the menu board, his eyes piercing through the darkness with an otherworldly intensity. Others spoke of strange occurrences, like items moving on their own, or voices whispering in the dead of night. But for every chilling encounter, some brushed it off as mere superstition. After all, in a world filled with uncertainties, it was easier to dismiss the unexplainable than to confront the terrifying truth beneath the surface. And so, the McDonald's continued to operate, its doors open to all who dared to enter. But the man's shadow in the long coat loomed large for those who worked the night shift, a constant reminder that some mysteries were better left unsolved. As the years went by, the legend of the haunted McDonald's only grew, drawing in new workers eager to uncover its dark secrets, unaware of the fate that awaited them in the dead of night.